Sorry, I just got to get to, is Warren the prospective nominee at this point, or is it still Biden?
I don't agree with Matt Drudge yet, but I think if you look
yesterday he said
if you look
hers to lose.
And Matt's got a tremendous sense of news, but if you look at her speech down here at Washington Square Park, which was quite dramatic, it's really Trump light. I mean, now we're seeing, if that's the case, you're going to have populist nationalism versus populist socialism. She's taken many of her speech is really Trump light, and to the fact taking Peter Schweitzer, my partner in government accountability, and talking about the Stock Act and insider trading and things like that. So I think she's clearly defined where the energy is. I think Biden, because of China, and I think this is why Trump has shifted this discussion, and China is going to be the framing device for the 2020 election, the geopolitical concerns of the nation.
That was my question, though. Do you believe that the Trump base looks at China the way you look at China, which is to say, if you're a farmer, a soybean farmer, or anybody else in the middle of the country, I think there's a lot of people, I imagine, and maybe I'm wrong, I think you're going to probably disagree with this assessment, I would imagine that they can think about it theoretically, but beyond that, they're looking at their own wallet and saying, I don't know.
I think it's the exact opposite. I think when you saw America in decline, we went to this is how we pierced the blue wall. If you go to Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin, you don't have to come to New York, where I have to actually walk people through why Schwartzman now has religion on CNBC. He says, oh, yeah, they've had 20 years they've been doing this, right? So the Wall Street's starting to get religion like Trump. On the campaign, if you go up there, people know the factories and the jobs all went to China, and the fentanyl and opioids came into this despair of not having jobs. So you can speak in shorthand. In Michigan, in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Iowa, the upper Midwest, this is why Donald Trump's president. Remember, immigration was an issue, but when we would go to the upper Midwest, it wasn't so much we build the wall, it's where are the jobs? Bring the jobs back. And that's what this is about. This is about shifting the supply chain back to the United States. It's why USMCA, nobody's talking about it. That's the first strategic. Remember what Trump's done just this weekend. He's got the Mexican-Canada deal, USMCA, which makes us a geostrategic manufacturing base, North America, with Mexico. You've got the India deal he's talking about, and Japan. The pieces on the chessboard are coming together, and this is the industrial democracies now working together to move supply chain.
He's doing what the critics have been saying all along he should have done. Even the ones who agree it should be tough on China, get the rest of the globe together to be on your side.
And this is why they say get the allies together. Look at Trump even on Iran. What he's saying, and I think where he's going on Iran, is a full economic boycott, an economic beyond economic sanctions. I think you're going to start to hermetically seal off Iran from capital markets. I think it's going to be part of the China's discussion. I think China's going to have to. It's going to be a quarantine, and I think Trump. Everybody wants him to be John Wayne, right? President Trump is strong enough that he doesn't have to be John Wayne. He looks at this as a businessman. He knows these sanctions are just a first step. He can go further. You can start to hermetically seal off Iran from food, from loans, from everything. And I think it's going to be part of the Chinese discussion. China's got a $400 billion deal with them on oil. I think they have between a $10 and $50 billion credit line. This is all going to be put on the table as he starts to ratchet up the pressure.
This is one of your quotes. The 2020 campaign will go down as the most vitriolic and nastiest in American history. It's very simple. When you say we, you're talking about Trump. If we win, we save the country. The margin of victory in some of the swing states in 2016 was fairly narrow, was it not?
Fairly narrow. We drew an inside straight. It's 79,000 votes. It's 79,000 votes in 5 counties.
How does it look? How's the hand being dealt right now in the swing states look for the president?
It's going to be a grind. President Trump has got to get these swing states. Look, Arizona's in play. North Carolina's in play. This is going to be a grind. He's got the entire mainstream media apparatus. When I said vitriolic as before the Civil War in 1860, look at the Kavanaugh thing. A op-ed in the New York Times that may have not been edited properly. You've got presidential candidates hitting the bid right away. We've got to impeach him. We've got to impeach him. A Supreme Court justice. Look at President Trump. Look at the Corey Lewandowski fiasco the other day. You've got Joshua Wong and these young people from Hong Kong testifying. Mainstream media don't want to cover it because they're all about the impeachment hearings, right? This thing is going to get so nasty that I think a lot of people are just going to say this is too much. But, President Trump's a closer. That's what we won in 2016. He closed. Hillary Clinton didn't. We won, quite frankly, with very thin margins in these states.
But it's not in the bag.
Oh, it's definitely not in the bag. This is going to be a very tough. President Trump knows that. That's why he's very focused on his efforts. He understands that. Now, look, you could have a Reagan-type victory, if things go your way, but I think it's sticking to what the program is, sticking to its policies. That's why China's going to frame this. You can already start to see Biden's weakness, and look at Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. One of the reasons I think Kamala Harris has dropped is she's been kind of all over the map on China. You know, Elizabeth Warren she came out with the white paper. She's now trying to get to the right of Trump, like Marco Rubio and others. On China. And I think China's the framing device because it means bringing back manufacturing jobs to the upper Midwest.
Love her or hate her policies, she's genuine and sincere about her belief in those policies. Yep. Kamala Harris, I was never sure whether it was really that sure of. So I think Elizabeth Warren might be formidable.
But the people are going to make a decision. In an era where you've got the mullahs, you've got the situation in the Persian Gulf, You've got, I think, just as tough a situation in the South China Sea. You've got China now working with Pakistan, working with Iran, working with Turkey, working with Russia. You see the Eurasian landmass. Who do you want as Commander-in-Chief? You want Donald Trump, that's very stable and ratchets up, or Elizabeth Warren? The American people are going to make that decision.